Do you want to eliminate money worries and be confident you're doing all the right things for your family's financial future, protecting your family's way of life from inflation, taxation, and tragedies with a plan that offers guaranteed tax-free growth and a guaranteed tax-free legacy? Like a GPS for your finances, where even if you miss turns, run into construction, get behind traffic accidents, or run into detours along the way, it just reroutes you to stay on the fastest, most efficient track. It adapts to the journey and is always focused on the destination. Do you know where you're going financially? Do you have a guide to get you there, a plan? Or are you really wondering which direction to go in and which path to follow for your finances? Maybe you feel like you want to focus on loving, growing, and caring for your family and doing the right thing with your money for them. But how can you put some balance and stability into your finances? There's a big question. Can you disconnect from market fluctuations? Do you know who to trust? Are you sure what you're doing is working? Do you have that confidence? Or perhaps you don't have the time or desire to do it yourself. You want to be confident that your family's secure and that you're doing the best thing with your finances. Most of all, you feel like taking care of your family's money shouldn't be like gambling, should it? You want a predictable and stable system based on principles for taking care of your family today and for the future. I'm Brad Macbeth, and we build a plan for your family that's certain, it's manageable, it ends money worries, and it eliminates financial anxiety so that you can focus on giving your family the support, opportunity, and security that you want for them. Not spreadsheets and financial charts or trying to guess what's going to happen in the markets or with interest rates. A plan that offers a clear path, guaranteed long-term tax-free growth, tax-free transfer of your wealth to family or causes that matter most to you. I've been helping hundreds of families over the nearly 20 years I've been doing this to understand their finances and get on a track that gives them financial security and takes them where they want to go financially. So here's what I'm going to share with you today. How to avoid the #1 decades-long risk that's been undermining balanced investing, and how to get long-term guaranteed returns on the money you need to spend to assure your family's financial security, rather than just paying a monthly bill that only benefits you if you die. And we'll look at 3 ways in which our new plan protects your family from income loss. So if you're feeling like you're being manipulated and strung along in your finances and you'd like to find some financial freedom for your family, we might be able to help you. This is a proven system. It's embraced by many well-off Canadian families. It is available to many more families than that, though not all families. And 25% of Canadians have some form of this plan, but most aren't taking full opportunity or advantage of what the plan could provide. Most are just using it in a very basic way. So if you're feeling like you'd like to go from financial worries, concerns, and anxiety to feeling some real financial freedom, and move from feeling led around on a string to feeling like you're getting a hand up to help you get where you want to go. And if you'd like to stop conflict in your most important relationship over money, and you'd like to have harmony there, no longer feeling handcuffed by financial circumstances, then this could well be for you. Can this work for everyone? That's a question we get a lot. Well, yes and no. Anybody could take advantage of this if they're willing to put themselves in a position to do so. And I believe anyone can put themselves in that position. But the truth is that most won't. Some people think, oh, hey, haven't I heard about this before? And you may well have heard of some parts of it. This is truly a new hybrid plan that manages risk, protects income, guarantees growth, and eliminates large sources of taxation in your own life. So if you're looking for a strong foundation for your finances that endures for a lifetime, it grows in market ups, guaranteeing returns through market lows, and protects your family through financial ups and downs, you're definitely in the right place. This approach protects your financial plans today, tomorrow, and for the future, and it works with any reasonable financial security and savings budget and commitment, and has a decades-long track record of proven results. Now, you may not be aware of this, but Canadian families primarily fall into two groups. Number one, which is the vast majority, they live by circumstance. They have no financial plan either to manage their cash flow or their long-term financial goals. They also don't know how they will manage through a crisis. The second types of families are planners and managers, those who are actively managing their finances by principle, for success, designed for the stage of life they're at. So why do some families take control of their money while most let their current situation and outside agencies dictate their level of income and their family wealth? Well, honestly, that is somewhat of a mystery. But everybody gets to make the choice, and we can see the results of what many people are deciding. 32% of Canadians are nearing retirement without any savings. Nearly half of Canadians are living paycheck to paycheck, and that has big consequences for their retirement planning. Over half of Canadians are $200 or less away from not being able to pay their bills. 1 in 2 Canadians is a bundle of nerves about money. More Canadians are going broke, and it could get worse. And despite a strong economy, debt-related stress is on the rise in Canada. In a Canadian debt survey, a third of Canadians can't even make their monthly payments. That means that their debt is increasing every month. It means they're going backwards. They're adding to credit card debts or line of credit debts on a monthly basis. And I can confirm that from having worked with hundreds of families over the years, that most families, or at least many families, when we first encounter them, have a lot of debt that they're not dealing with, even though they may have savings and they can be in a reasonable position otherwise. And we know that debt causes anxiety and stress and worse. So don't you be a statistics. You can start the journey and take control today, anytime you want to. Families that plan and manage their finances follow 3 key steps to ensure their success. Now, if you take these 3 essential steps, you'll be on a clear path to reach your financial goals. You'll be confident about and in control of your financial future and able to manage through major market downturns and financial challenges. And so what are those 3 essentials? Well, it's simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. The 3 essentials: save, protect, and guarantee. Just that. And that sounds like common sense, but it all matters how and where you do it, and it matters that you're committed to it. So what does that look like? Well, savings, that's money for emergencies, long-term purchases, and major financial goals. Protection protects all your plans and your greatest assets. We can make the best possible plans for our future and for our retirement, but if we don't put a fortress around that, outside circumstances that we don't have control over can rush in and upset all our plans and undermine our family's future permanently. In fact, we already take some of those steps because we're required to. If we own a home and we have a mortgage, the mortgage company requires that we insure our home. We protect that asset. If we drive a car, the licensing authorities require that we carry liability insurance because we can do damage with that car. And that can be very expensive. So we have to protect our greatest asset, which is our ability to earn an income. And we have to protect our opportunity to continue building toward our goals. For example, when I say that your income is your greatest asset, if you're a 35-year-old Canadian, you're probably going to earn about $3 million over the next 30 years before you retire, if you're earning an average Canadian income. Most people don't think of it that way. That's a big number. That ability to earn that income is the biggest asset that most people have. Now, the other essential, which has really been missing from most people's financial plans, is guarantees. And part of the reason it's been missing is because the conventional form of guarantees, for many years now, have performed very poorly. They haven't been there to provide the stability and another form of stability. It's not guaranteed. Some are, but or more or less guaranteed. But another form that hasn't really provided that support inside financial portfolios has been bonds. Over the last 20 years, bond performances have been pretty ugly. And so people have been missing this key component of their financial plans. The return paid on savings account, on guaranteed investment certificates, and other such instruments have been awfully low, well below 1% at times, and even worse. So what can we do in the face of all this? Well, there is an investment that provides a better guaranteed return in difficult investing times with greater returns when markets are stronger. And that's been paying a minimum of 2 to 3% year over year at minimum. But in fact, most always it's been paying 4.5 to 6% for many, many years. And so when you look at substituting that in for bonds, for example, in an investment portfolio, it's performed much better, and it is guaranteed, which bonds aren't. So most people aren't using this investment category or this asset category, and they aren't aware of it. And by the way, this particular investment also grows tax-free. Doesn't have to be inside an RSP to do that, and it can be accessed tax-free at any time. So it's not locked away the way a guaranteed investment certificate is, and it can also be passed on tax-free when you die. So, if you're not certain that you're going to achieve your financial goals, are you confident how your savings will perform through the next downturn or recession, such as 2008? Things went down nearly 50% at times. Or 2020? That's not that long ago. We're talking a couple of years ago. Things dumped over 30% in about 6 weeks. Or even 2022. We've had a downturn early this year. In the course of a few weeks, things went down about 14%, just in a few weeks. Which, if you extrapolated that over an entire year, would be just as scary as 2008. So what can you do in the face of all this market volatility? And do you know exactly how your family will manage financially if your income were suddenly cut off? So if you're looking for that track and wanting to get away from feeling all the stress and worry, from the bills that are piling up, from the financial stress and money fights that burden your most important relationship, if you're looking for that freedom, for that ability to finally work together, to walk in harmony in your finances, and to be completely together about where you're going financially today and for the future, what's your plan for what's happening today? We've got investment market fears. We've got inflation at 7.5%. It's running rampant in a way it hasn't in decades. Our core interest rate is going to be tripling here over 3 months. It's already started rising. The price of oil, and just in case you don't think about it this way, oil is in everything. Whether it's part of what's been manufactured, because plastics are made of oil and so are many other things, but also everything gets, except for the carrots you grow in your backyard, everything is delivered from somewhere to somewhere else, and all of that takes fuel, and that is affected by the price of oil. So fertilizer as well is going to be going up here quite significantly because of global political turmoil. So these things are all driving inflation. So there's also an index, in case you don't know about it, called the VIX. And that is the index that measures volatility or fear in investment markets. And so that index of fear is up 33% over last year. That's a big jump. Now, we know that the stock market has averaged 10.5% over long periods of time. But the timing of when you withdraw and invest has a profound effect. It's called sequence of returns risk. So what can we do to offset the volatility of the investment markets, which is where we're going to get the better return on our money, but we're going to be taking the greater risk? Is there a way we can offset that risk and get more guarantees and less uncertainty or vulnerability with our investments? When we look at this chart here, we see those spikes that go below the line are alarming. All right, so how can we protect against those? You know, it's easy to be distracted by the news, by pundits and talking heads or investment salespeople trying to sell us products. They stir up feelings, they cause us to worry or take steps that aren't necessarily in our best interests, but in theirs. But if they really knew what they claimed, they'd be making their fortune following their own advice, rather than just getting by on salary or commission, selling your attention to advertisers. And bank employees are great at serving their key clientele. And banks are where most Canadians get their financial plans and advice. Well, they don't have financial plans, they just get products, really. And bank employees are great at serving their key clientele. But the thing is, the key clientele for bank employees isn't the bank customers, it's the bank shareholders. And they do a fantastic job of serving the bank shareholders. Look at how much the profits have risen over and over and over in banks for decades now. But that's where their best interests lie. It's in maximizing profit for shareholders, and that profit's coming from the money that you're providing to the bank, both in investment money and in fees. And so they're maximizing profits for shareholders. They're not motivated by maximizing returns for their customers. So most of the time when you're dealing over the counter at the bank, which is where, as I said, most Canadians get their financial plan, so-called plan and advice, you're dealing with someone who's simply a salesperson. They're not licensed. They've been partially trained in products, but they don't have the wherewithal to provide plans. They only have access to the limited range of investments and vehicles that the bank offers over the counter. And they have sales quotas. And we know that. That's all been exposed in the news many years ago. So they're there, and they're well trained to sell you a product that maximizes return for bank shareholders. And the latest investment fads come and go, but there's a tried and true track that yields guaranteed long-term results for life, putting you into the planner and manager seat in control of your finances for good. When you have a predictable system for guaranteeing growth for your savings, managing risk for your investments, assuring your family's way of life, and minimizing taxes, then you can be confident about your family's finances today, tomorrow, and for the rest of your life. All while the majority of Canadian families are just reacting to the circumstances, what's happening today, and hoping for the best. Planners and managers build their family a firm foundation for today and tomorrow, one that can last for generations for their children and grandchildren. Now, the core of your custom personal strategy is a recently enhanced hybrid financial security plan that combines premium features from traditional products. So in a way, it's brand new, but it's not new. It's what we're using as the tools are not brand new, but the way it's all being put together is a brand new approach. So your personal strategy promises guaranteed growth for your savings, guaranteed security for your income in the event you can't work, guaranteed tax-free growth for retirement, and guaranteed tax-free legacy for your family or your favorite causes. You'll know that your family is secure financially no matter what happens, and you can follow the track to retirement that protects your savings from taxation today and in the future, and have confidence that you'll reach your financial goals. And you're going to be protecting that largest asset we talked about. A key component of your plan protects your ability to earn an income. You'll be protected if you're unable to work for an extended time due to major accident or illness. And it provides protection against real tragedy. If you or your spouse pass away, you'll know your family's financial way of life is assured for the future. It also provides guaranteed savings growth. Your savings growth will grow at a guaranteed rate no matter what's happening in markets, the economy, or the world, and it will grow faster when market conditions are strong. Your savings are also easily accessible at any time. You'll also be protected from taxation. While your savings grow, they're not taxed. Your savings can also be accessed tax-free anytime, as I said, unlike other tax-sheltered plans such as RSPs. When you combine guaranteed savings growth, financial security protection for your family's way of life, and shelter from taxation, your financial plan will grow with you for your lifetime, and the plan addresses all your financial worries. Now, you have to have the right system for this all to work together. You can attempt to construct something like this on your own, but there are components unavailable to the public that only some licensed advisors can access. Or you can let us set it up with you and monitor and adjust it together through the future. Here's the key question. How can I take control of my family finances with guaranteed growth on my savings, sure of our financial security no matter what, with tax-free access whenever I need? Now, this is perfect for you if you're looking for assurance that your family's on the right track technically with their finances, confidence that your way of life is protected, certainty of guaranteed growth in your savings, and peace of mind that taxes won't devour your future. Now, we're looking to work with a few more families that can help to achieve these great goals and build their future. And for a limited time, we're offering a strategy session for people that qualify to determine if this is for you and whether we can help you. Now, families that qualify for this want to follow a planned and predictable track that will achieve the financial goals they have set, are committed to managing their money and systematically contributing financially to their future, and are seeking financial peace of mind from following a plan that achieves their financial goals no matter what's happening in the market or the economy. So how it works is we put together with you a custom personal financial strategy tailored to help your family with the 3 greatest challenges facing your finances. You will have a planned and predictable course to reach your financial goals. You'll enjoy guarantees protecting you from financial ups and downs, whether personal or market related. And you'll enjoy the fruits of all your planning and work without them being taxed to death. Our strategy sessions take about 30 minutes. You'd be meeting with me personally. I'll help you identify exactly where you're at and put together a strategy to plan and grow your family's financial security and guarantee their future within the normal level of financial commitment. So, who is this for? Well, it's for families that want to take control of their finances and manage their money based in principles. Families that can commit to long-term growth and planning for their future. And families that want peace of mind around their finances and are willing to work to make that happen. You should be willing to commit the resources and time for both spouses to discuss, plan, and manage your finances. Have a desire to be educated and informed about your money so you can take your family's financial future and security to the next level. Working with me, working with our team is simple. It really is. We make it as simple as possible, but it does require commitment. Most families feel a significant change within the first 60 days and stay for the long term, years and years, because of the results they experience. So who's this not for? Well, it's not for people who are looking for a get-rich-quick approach or some shortcut to financial success, or for people who can't commit to a course of action or are continually changing direction, looking for the next big thing, or for people who don't want to invest the time in themselves to plan and manage their future. We keep it as simple as we can, but it does require involvement from you to get the plan the way you want it to be and to work with us while we monitor that plan going forward. Now, knowing that we're a good fit to work together is absolutely essential because this is a high trust and high confidence relationship for both of us. And we want to ensure that we can deliver on everything we promise you. So this isn't for everyone. There are some families we just can't help with this. If that's the case, I'll be completely open with you and suggest someone else or a different approach. We can only work with those who are a good fit so that we can ensure that we get you the results you're looking for. Now, the first step is to complete your application for your private strategy session. And your application helps us determine 2 things. If we can help you, and if I'm the best person to help you reach your goals. And we're going to determine if you're ready to step up, commit, and take the massive action necessary to bring you the results. So once you complete your application, you'll be taken to my calendar to schedule a time for your strategy session with me. This is where we begin working together to determine where you want to get to and the best track to get there. At the end of our strategy session, we'll agree that this is a good fit, and I'll invite you to work together with us. Or if it's not a good fit, that's fine too. Whatever the outcome, your strategy session will give you great insight into new ways to look at your family finances, where you are right now financially, and what's preventing you from reaching the financial goals you have for your family, along with the exact steps you need to take to move your finances to the next level. Whatever the outcome, it'll be the best 30 minutes you spend on your family's finances this year. So this is a limited opportunity. There's a limited number of families that we can work with all at once, and time is critical. And so the opportunity to work together won't be available for long.